Hey guys, Jeff here with Cosplay Viking, and we're finally back with another cosplay tutorial, and this time we're going to learn how to make a Viking shield. Now this one is a kid size, but most of the stuff that I'm teaching you here can be used to apply to Viking shields of pretty much any size. All it's going to change is how you're going to cut out your template, but we'll get to that in a later video, and that'll be one of the tips that I'll post later about doing larger templates for round things, because drawing a perfect circle is pretty much a pain in the ass and can be very difficult if you're not quite sure what you're doing. So first off, we're going to go into what you need in order to make this guy. Not a whole lot of stuff, but go over all the bits you need. So starting off, you need your pencil, or two. Who knows? You're going to need to not drop your scissors, and don't run with them either. You're going to need probably some cutting implements of various types. I've got a couple of different ones depending on what I need. You're going to need a Sharpie. You're actually going to need a protractor set, specifically either something that can do your circle or one of these bad boys. That's pretty much going to help us get that nice circle. You're also going to need pins. Oh, sorry. Pins. You'll see why later. And you need googly eyes. You always need googly eyes when you're doing this stuff. And you're going to need contact cement of some kind, and I just lost a googly eye. You're going to need contact cement of some kind. I've got barge here, but there's a lot of different options for that. That'll work very well. You're going to need some very thin 2mm craft foam. So nice and thin. And you're going to need some, I do believe this is 6mm, but I know it is 1/4 inch. So I've got 1/4 inch floor mat foam for this one. You want it with the nice flat sides. I was lucky to get this. And you're going to need some paper. Preferably nice thick poster board stock, mostly because that way it'll survive longer and you can use it multiple times. Now that you've got all of that stuff together, you're pretty much ready to get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually do the template. Okay, so we've got our paper set out. You can see I've got the protractor set, everything here set out here. I've got it set out pretty much as wide as I want it to go that way. And this is basically what I use to make the smallest size. So when you do this, my first recommendation for it is mark your center point. So you take your marker, mark that center point. There's going to be a method behind the madness to this one, because when I make this template is both going to serve for the primary body of your shield. So you see how I've got the shield right here, and that's the primary body, but I've also got this trim, and that's going to be the, you know, the quote-unquote steel and metal part of your template. Now this actually is drawn out as one whole template that I use for both bits, and you'll see why in just a second. So the first thing I'm going to do, see my center point that I've still got here on there, I'm going to get my point on that center point. Then we are going to draw our circle. Now you can only see part of the circle just from the camera. I'll adjust the camera just a little. Can't adjust it too much. Okay, but you can see our circle here. I'll actually adjust the paper so you can better see our circle. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to bring it in, not too much. I'm going to take a look, actually see where it's sitting. I want that a little bit more. So now we're going to shrink down our thing so it's not as wide out. We're going to find that center point. Oh, it's too much. Basically go until we're happy with it. Alright, that should be good. So now we're going to find that center point again. And this is the reason, because I did this last time and ended up with slightly crooked on the inside. So now we're going to make that circle a second time. So now our circles, both of our inner and our outer circle, it's a little harder with the camera angle. It looks like this part's really small. But now this is all the same size around. So if I grab my ruler, wherever I put that. If I grab my ruler, and I can tell where I'm at. So here, once again, you can measure this out if you want. So this is 3/4 of an inch here. But if I measure it over here, it's 3/4 of an inch. Measure it over here, and yeah, still 3/4 of an inch. And then up here, as much as it looks like it's smaller, that's 3/4 of an inch. So now I've got a 3/4 inch around this one. If I actually measure across, this part's shorter than, say, this part here. This part is a whole lot bigger than this. Now I've got that even on all of that around. All right, so now I'm going to cut this template out, and you can see what I mean, because I'm going to cut out that center point, and I don't need that at all anymore. So I'm going to cut this all out, and we're going to start applying this to foam. All right, so now I've got my template all cut out. As you can see, it's a nice little throwing ring that I can use now if I want to throw it at things. But also, and then this is actually now a very multi-purpose template if I wanted to use it. But primarily for our shield, it's going to do what we need. So it's going to give us our outer ring, like so. So the back side, the full circle of that. But also, it's also drawn in such a way so when we go to our craft foam, I can both draw the outer, so it all measures up together. And I can actually draw out the inner stuff that I'm going to cut out to get that outer ring. So I don't need two different templates to be able to do this. So now that we've done this, let's apply that to our template here, or to our foam here. So we got this here. So this is where our pins come in. And take my pins. I'm just going to place them around my ring to keep my shield template from wandering on me while I'm trying to draw. Now, depending on how secure you wanted to make it, determines how many pins you're going to use. But as many pins as you feel is necessary. So I'm going to do all that. And then we're going to take our Sharpie. I'm going to draw our template. Now the great thing about using poster board for this, because I make a fair number of these shields at any point, is I can actually use this over and over and over again. A thinner sheet of paper is going to get torn up, wet, whatever, well, just from using all the ink. It's actually going to it's going to deform a lot sooner than this one is. You can use other things to make more permanent templates, especially if you plan on doing this a lot. But this is very simple. I am going to actually also draw the inside. Now the reason I'm doing that is not because I'm going to cut that out, is so that later, when we get to actually assembling the shield, I don't have to do that again to line up where I'm going to apply my glue in order to put this together. So we're going to take all of our pins out. And voila, we have our shield, or at least the start of our shield. Now from here, I'm going to do the same thing to the craft foam, use my pins, apply my template to the craft foam, trace that out, and then I'm going to cut them both out. So while I'm cutting, I want to be super careful with my cutting, because I want to cut it nice and straight. So I'm going to take this, and then cut on the inside of my lines. I'm going to cut. Right now, I can't really move the foam like I would like to, so I'm going to have to move myself. But you're going to cut straight. Don't rush. Right? There's no race to get all this done. So I'm actually going to turn this a little bit. I'm going to start around on this side. And we're going to cut all the way around. Almost there.